So I'll be using three tiers for this NASCAR playoff prediction video. So I'll be showing you guys the first tier. So this first tier of drivers is called safe drivers. These drivers are drivers who can win multiple races in my opinion and can compete for the best finishes week in and week out. So I'll be listing them right now. So the drivers in this list are Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Kyle Larson, and Ryan Blaney. I forgot to mention Joey Logano. So with this list, I feel like the championship 4 drivers from last year are pretty much safe. And I also think that Denny Hamlin and William Byron have been very, very good drivers and have been able to really compete up front. But I feel like Byron's going to move up another step from last year as well. And with Ryan Blaney was an interesting one for this because he didn't win a race last year, but he was really consistent. He just did not have the luck last year. But I do think that he'll be consistent enough to make the playoffs, and maybe he will score a multiple wins as well. So that's the list for the safe drivers. So this is the middle zone, and it is the category where these drivers are not as safe and are less likely to win, but I feel like they will be safe enough to make the playoffs and could easily just score the way with points. This might be the zone where things could start getting controversial. So the drivers I have in this category are Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, Martin Truex Jr., and Alex Bowman. So I predicted Kevin Harvick would be here because I feel like he barely escaped by in the playoffs. Well, what I mean by that is that the reason why he made it to the playoffs because he got those 2 wins. So I mean, not fully sure if he would have made the playoffs, but he did. Kyle Busch, it's like he did struggle a bit in 2022 because he only got 1 win, and he's moving to a new team, so he might have to rebuild himself. As of Tyler Reddick, he's also moving to a new team, but he did do really well last year, so I hope the best for him. As for Martin Truex Jr., he is a bit worrying because he did miss the playoffs last year, all purely because he didn't have a win, and he just was unlucky at the worst time. But I do think he will get a win this season, maybe, or at least he will make the playoffs by a lot. And then with Alex Bowman, it's like he only got 1 win last year. He did struggle throughout the summer stretch, but I do think he will make the playoffs somehow with a win. So the final tier is the playoff bubble. These are the drivers who I think are gonna have to fight for a win because they have no guarantee of making the playoffs by points at all. So it really does come down to if they're able to win or if they're just able to make it on points somehow with like a close battle. This is honestly going to be the most controversial one to choose from because there's so much great drivers who could easily just make off the players with a win. So the drivers who I think will barely scoop by into the playoffs are Chase Briscoe, Eric Jones, and Daniel Suarez. So starting off with Chase Briscoe, I feel like SHR will improve from last year, and I feel like he'll be kind of more of a regular contender than last season, as I hope he'll be like more consistent. With Aaron Jones, this is a risky one. I feel like he has the pace to make the playoffs. He did really, really well last year. So I do feel like he can make the playoffs with a win, or he could just be rawly consistent. And if Daniel Suarez, he did make it to the round of 12 last season, so I feel like he can scoop by into the playoffs as well with a win, maybe.